All right, what's up everyone? Today is Friday, January 23rd, 2026. And we're going to be walking all the way from Great Jones Street and Lafayette Street to the Empire State Building. Now, the governor of the great state of New York, Kathy Hochul, has just declared a state of emergency for New York State. We are going to have absolutely frigid temperatures starting in the next few hours. With the wind chill tonight, it's going to feel like -2 degrees Fahrenheit. We're also expected to get upwards of 18 inches of snow. So let's go ahead and explore the city before the storm. We've now made this left on Lafayette Street. We're going to be walking northbound, coming up to East 4th Street. And I really like this neighborhood, mainly because of all the old pre-war buildings down here. You can see some of them across the street. Beautiful brick facades with those fire escapes. And every now and then you'll have a new development mixed in. One of my favorite more modernist buildings is right down here off of Bond Street. You can actually see some of the building if I zoom in. And then that big building in the back, all the way in the distance, that's in Lower Manhattan. That is Spruce Street at 5 Spruce Street. But the building on Bond Street's really nice. It's a co-op building. One of the things I like most about the building isn't even a feature of the building. It's a feature of the street itself. It's these original, beautiful Belgian block streets. Really gives a different perspective to New York. We always walk around Midtown Manhattan, and everything looks like a, booming metropolis of sorts. Down here, it's definitely a different feel, a different vibe. I like it. This is now East 4th Street. Right in the corner here, you have this coffee shop I used to go to all the time called La Colombe. And if we were to make a left here and continue to walk all the way down, we would hit into the campus of NYU, New York University, specifically the Stern School of Business is right down there. It's one of the best schools in the country. Now, but right on the corner of Lafayette and East 4th Street is this stunning building. This is the Aster wine shop. Just look at that facade. This has been totally renovated. All of the scaffolding is down. Favorite features, those windows by far. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. We've had this conversation before on the channel. Obviously the big topic of discussion politically in New York City is affordability, particularly as it relates to rent and housing. And it's true. It is, I would consider it, relatively unaffordable to live here. But that's because there's a big supply issue in New York. And there's many, many reasons for that. In my humble opinion, New York is very unique on the supply side issue because if you're talking about the island of Manhattan itself, there's obviously very limited land space here. And a lot of the streets, particularly in and around Soho and different other parts of Lower Manhattan like Tribeca, I always give White Street as an example. Many of those buildings with the original cast iron facades, they're historically protected, meaning you really can't alter them. You can't tear them down. They're going to be there in perpetuity. And, in a lot of those buildings, they're loft-style apartments that are very coveted, and they rent for $15,000 a month, upwards to sometimes 70 grand a month, depending on the loft. It's not uncommon for those loft style apartments to go for, 30 grand a month, 25 grand a month, right? The debate is that the highest and best use of the land? It would be very easy for a developer to go in, knock down those beautiful historical buildings and just build, quote unquote, affordable housing. The cookie cutter glass box rental apartments that you see all up and down Austin, Texas, and all those ones that are going up in Nashville. And that would add significant inventory to the market. But do we really want to get rid of buildings like this? I mean, look at this, guys. Do we really want to destroy the character of the neighborhoods? These beautiful pre-war buildings, cast iron facades, fire escapes. That's the big debate, right? I mean, it would technically be very, very easy to add supply to New York City. All you have to do is just rip and replace a lot of the zoning regulations. But with that, you would, knock out a lot of the beautiful buildings that are in the city. I mean, for example, just imagine walking on the Upper East Side or the Upper West Side of Manhattan. You see all those beautiful townhomes, right? Beautiful brownstones. I mean, it would be relatively easy, right, for a developer to buy up, let's say, an entire block and just build a monstrous cookie cutter, 180 unit rental apartment complex that's just a glass box. But would that ever fly with the neighborhood? The answer is no, right? The short answer is no. So everybody wants it to be affordable in Manhattan, but it's going to be very, very difficult to achieve that. Very, very difficult. And the city of New York, particularly and specifically Manhattan, is going to be extra difficult to achieve that, right? If you think about other cities like Austin, Texas, where they've just been building like crazy, rents have been coming down quite substantially. It's going to be hard to do that in Manhattan. This is now Raising Cane's in here. But this building, right here, everyone, this used to be one of the main Starbucks locations. I used to go in here sometimes. And unfortunately, over the years, it's kind of been overrun with homeless and crime. And Starbucks corporate decided to close it down. But the building itself is really, really nice. In any event, we're now at Aster Place. This is where you could take the 6 train upper downtown. And if you were to make a right, you'll run right into the East Village, which is a really, really fun place. I do want to quickly pull off to the side here. If you zoom in on this building, that's the Cooper Union College. And if you continue to go past that little black cube on Cooper Square, you'll run right into St. Mark's Place. And that's a very, very fun area, particularly for people in their early 20s, college students. St. Mark's is always a really good time. Here you have the Wegmans. The original Wegmans location opened up in the Brooklyn Navy Yard. Maybe we'll bang a left this way. And then we'll head over to Broadway. But this is now headed towards NYU, New York University. And I think they just opened up a Luckin Coffee right on the corner of this block. These Luckin Coffee locations are really popping up everywhere. I would say in the summer, this neighborhood is very, very fun. Particularly the further you go over towards the East Village, there's a lot of good spots. Man, you could really, really feel the wind picking up. and the temperatures, I could quite literally feel them dropping right now. It's unbelievably cold. You know, New York City weather is insane. This is the R train station. This is the 8th Street RW train upper downtown. But yesterday it was 40 degrees out, and now it's going to get to -1 degrees Fahrenheit with the wind chill overnight. We are now on East 8th Street and Broadway. You can see the Luckin Coffee across the street. Trying to decipher which avenue to walk up. But guys, just look at the architecture on the buildings for a second. It's beautiful down here. We'll walk directly up into 14th Street, Union Square. This is definitely one of the snowiest and coldest winters that I can remember in New York. We're now approaching East 9th Street and Broadway. This is also another decent coffee shop. It's called The Bean. They have multiple locations throughout the city. You know it's cold in New York when there's not a lot of people walking around. I have a feeling since it's Friday, many people decided to work remote, work from home. This is now East 10th Street. And we're about to come up on one of my favorite bookstores in Manhattan.
Oh, where are we going?
And that is the Strand. It's a bummer that the church is covered in scaffolding, but still looks good. Right on the corner of East 11th Street and East 12th Street, there's a new office tower that's quite interesting, architecturally speaking. And then in the distance, you can see the Empire State Building at 262 Fifth Avenue. That's the new skinny building that only has about 24 residential apartments or residential condos in the building. And it blocks the view of the Empire State Building from 23rd Street. Oh, they just finished the exterior renovation on this building. This used to be totally covered in scaffolding. I mean, look at how beautiful that is. I guess this is another prime example, right? The cast iron building. I'd say we want to preserve these buildings in New York. But again, there's, scarcity of land in Manhattan. I'll have to cross the street for you guys at East 12th Street. This is the new office tower, and it looks like in the retail space, Chubby Bowls, Wagyu beef stir fry. Look at that. That's an interesting logo. I'll have to try that. Here, but I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. The facade of the building definitely doesn't match the architectural integrity of the street. It's interesting, right? But this is all brand new office space for lease. This though I'm actually excited about. The Chubby Bowls. $7.99 Broadway is another new office tower as well. But I'd much prefer the cast iron. All right, on the corner of East 12th and Broadway, you're going to see my favorite, well, one of my favorite bookstores in the city. This is the Strand. They have a pretty cool used book selection as well. Whenever I'm down here, I really like to kind of stop and appreciate the diversity in architecture here, because I spend a lot of time in Midtown Manhattan where we really don't have this. I mean, what do you guys think? I really like the overall vibe down here. This place also has some pretty good rare books. But my other go-to spot is better. East Village Books. Still a really great bookstore. Now approaching 14th Street, Union Square, which is a tremendous subway terminal, if you will. But we'll hold up on East 13th Street. So you can take a look at this building. This is 841 Broadway. I mean, guys, look at how cool that building is. They definitely don't make them like this anymore. Once again, if you want to look it up, 841 Broadway. I always love looking at this building whenever I'm down here. It's just south of Union Square. Just a few weeks ago, this is also a really good view of the Empire State Building, but just a few weeks ago right here there was a horrendous pit bull attack right on the corner here. There was this pit bull that unfortunately got off someone's leash and went after a little kid and was literally chewing the kid's leg off pretty much. I want to say this was about a month ago, right on the street corner here. I know it may sound controversial, but whenever I see someone with a pit bull, I'll cross the street. I'll avoid it. You just can't take any chances. And I know the conversation is, oh, it's the dogs are great. The dogs are great. It's just the humans don't train them properly. Well, that's not my problem. I'm not gonna take the chance, you know, and wager if somebody's a derelict or not. It's just I've seen too many crazy pit bull attacks in New York City in my life. The worst one I saw was about 2 years ago in the summer. It was in the Bronx, right on the Grand Concourse, and this pit bull just got off the leash and just ran at this poor lady. And it wasn't good at all. Anyway, we're now at 14th Street. Union Square.
What country are you from?
And we'll now enter the park. Man, you could even taste the road salt in the air. There's so much of it. We're about to come up on one of my favorite parts of the city. Right on Broadway, right as you walk southbound from 23rd Street to around 18th Street. The buildings are beautiful. You guys will see what I'm talking about in a minute. But there's always something going on in Union Square Park. Always like a flea market, a farmer's market. Always have people selling things. It's really interesting just to kind of walk around and look at it all.
like called Sephora.
This is Francesca's Bakery. It also looks like they sell a lot of different cuts of steak, chicken, pork, quality meat products. This is a halal produce store. Orange County Distillery here. I mean, talk about the variety of stuff. Oh, Francesca's Bakery is from Clifton, New Jersey. Interesting. Those are the best. Those apple cider donuts, those are insanely good. Pretty much everything smells really good here. Okay, we're now on 16th Street, and we're gonna veer off to the left a little bit as we continue to head northbound. This is another one of my favorite buildings. It's the Barnes & Noble building. Really nice. More produce. And here we go, coming up to my favorite part. We're now East 17th Street. And Broadway. You're going to see some really beautiful architecture here. And I love how you have these big bike lanes and a lot of nice public outdoor seating. Try to make a little move around the NYPD cruiser. I love these low-rise brick buildings, but look at how cool this shot is. Anytime a building has arched windows, I'm a big fan. This is on the corner of East 18th Street. But what do you guys think of the urban planning here? Big bike lanes, no vehicle traffic, and a lot of public seating.
And then this shit happens and you're like, nah, you need to be a good girl, a good boy, and just chill and take it.
And take it. Also, so they've descended on Minnesota in particular because of one Nick Shirley. You know what I'm saying? Who this little slow motherfucker? He got the smoking ears. You know what I'm saying? He kicked this whole shit off by discovering fraud. So there's like this trend of like, you're not a look at this.
We'll do one more kind of panoramic shot of this building on 18th Street. There's a really nice Equinox here. Okay, we're now on the corner of 20th Street. Look at that. Again, I love how they have so much outdoor space or outdoor seating. But I'll have to cross the street so you can see this spectacular architecture on the building behind us, which just so happens to be the Equinox. Man, it's so windy. But check this out, right on the corner of East 20th Street and Broadway. Look at this, guys. Isn't that a pretty incredible building? Incredible. Okay, at the corner of 21st Street and Broadway, you have this Cha-Cha Matcha, which is not bad, it's just a little expensive.
Third anniversary.
I'll quickly pull off to the side just so you could all see the Flatiron building. This was recently sold at auction, and now they are condos. So you do have the opportunity to purchase condominiums inside the Flatiron.
Like if he actually does it right.
I see these things all over the place. And I even saw them in South Beach when I was down in Miami. Right on the corner of 22nd Street. You know, there's this interesting, I believe it's French, bakery that I want to check out. I forget the name of it, but I want to say it's over here. You can see the Empire State Building is covered by 262 Fifth. We'll continue on northbound. This is the place. Salt Suite. I believe they sell bakery items that are in the shape of fruits. 180 Fifth Avenue. Yeah, so they'll sell these really interesting pastries that are like little cakes. So it'll be like a banana, a pear, but it'll be a fruit, or look like a fruit. It's interesting. Broadway. We've now crossed 23rd. 23rd Street runs east to west. This is the 23rd Street subway, where you can get the R and the W trains. But I always love looking at the skyline over Madison Square Park. I mean, look at how beautiful these buildings look. And we'll have one more look at the Flatiron building. And this is the main eataly. Really big fan of eataly. Eataly also has pretty good Italian pastries, but my favorite is this place in Little Italy called Ferrara Bakery. Oh, here's another one of those pink things. You guys see it? It's right at the top left of the building here on 25th and Broadway. Okay, now we're entering 25th, and this will take us all the way up into New York City's Koreatown. This is also a great area, particularly in the summer. Because they've also closed the majority of Broadway off to vehicles. And you can see here you have a tremendous two-way bike lane. You have all this public outdoor space, and they've even made it for outdoor dining. You obviously can't, it's not set up today because it's absolutely freezing outside, but I really like what they did here. And the further you go up, you're going to see the brand new Ritz-Carlton NoMad, which is a great property. Awesome property. Here's another one of these guys. We've been walking for about 45 minutes, and it's so cold that I'm not even cold anymore. I can barely even feel my hands. Let's check the updated temperature. Let's see. It's 3 degrees, feels like -7. You know, the one thing about the new iPhone, I believe since it's aluminum, when it gets really cold out, the battery drains like extremely fast. Because and I don't know if this is the case, but the aluminum casing on the iPhone 17 Pro gets extremely cold. It gets like an ice cube. So perhaps that degrades the battery. It's not really a big deal, but I'm like, I just charged my phone, it's already dead. But when I was in Miami, I mean, the battery life was incredible. It's just been so cold here. This is the Anita Gelato place. On a Friday night, Saturday night, this place is always rocking with people. It's a very European vibe here, particularly in the summer. This place is called Skinny Louie. And I've tried this place, not in New York, but I've tried it in Wynwood, Miami. I'm not too sure if this is native to Miami. What does it say? It says best burger in town of 2 different cities, New York and Miami. So maybe it is a Miami thing. Has anybody else been to this place? It was alright. Now, would I be a repeat customer? Honestly, no. I'm honestly not even really a big burger guy. However, my go-to burger spot is Five Guys. All right, this is now 27th Street. This is where kind of the open streets will end. You can see some vehicles turning, but I love what they did. From 27th Street south, sort of like a no-go zone for vehicles. I really like this store here. Aesop, really great brand. I would say Aesop and Le Labo are probably my 2 top favorite brands of that category, I'd say. Right on the corner of 28th Street and Broadway is the relatively new Ritz-Carlton NoMad, which is a great property. Check this out. This is the Ritz-Carlton NoMad. Really, really good property. It's just a shame, right on the corner there, 28th and Broadway is a little bit of a hot spot. You'll have some derelicts selling illegal goods and slinging drugs. But it's right next to such a great property because the Ritz-Carlton NoMad is really, really good property. Coming up is going to be my favorite part of the video today. On 29th Street, you're going to have this really picturesque shot of the Empire State Building in front of this, well, behind this stunning, stunning building. You'll be able to see right here. Look at that. So you can see the spire of the Empire State Building. And the building is beautiful as well. And all of the scaffolding is just recently down from that building. They did a full facade restoration there. I think it's 1200 West 29th Street. Look at that. Beautiful shot. And we'll go ahead and end it there. If you guys enjoyed that walking tour, feel free to subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and as always, we will see you in the next one, and thank you so much for watching. Take care.